and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Ellen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week, Bidenflation doesn't stop. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released its inflation numbers for September. 2 words, oh boy. According to the data, the annual U.S. inflation rate soared to a 13-year high of 5.4%, topping estimates of 5.3%. Month over month, the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, rose 0.4%, beating the market forecast of 0.3%. Compared to the same time a year ago, everything has gotten more expensive, led by dramatic increases in food and energy. Food, including all 6 major components of the grocery store food groups, gained 4.5%. Everything cost more at the supermarket and restaurant last month. Beef and veal prices rose 4.8% and 1.7% respectively. Ground beef was up 10%. Roast and steaks climbed 20%. Fish and eggs were up 2.2%. Pork climbed 12%, and bacon jumped 20%. Suffice it to say, you may need to rely on your vegan protein to save some money on your next meal. Energy spiked 24.8%, with gasoline surging 42%, natural gas soaring 26%, and electricity going up more than 5%. You get the picture. While it did not capture too many headlines, market analysts were most concerned by the rising shelter costs. In the 12 months ending in September, shelter prices increased 3.2%. But the main thing is that the monthly snapshot of the cost of living in America today highlighted this was the fastest pace of inflation for rent and owner's equivalent rent since the 2006 housing bubble. Meanwhile, new and used automobiles advanced 8.7% and 24.4% year-over-year, respectively. There's no stopping rampant price inflation for now. Right now, there is a perfect storm in the global economy. Central banks have printed tens of trillions of dollars and counting over the last 20 months. The supply chain crisis is intensifying. Producers are not creating enough supply to meet the demand. The high price of energy is leading to escalating food prices, whether it is transporting your favorite fruits or spraying agriculture with fertilizer. And yet, despite being raw on this file since the start of the year, the official line in Washington is still that inflation is transitory. Although Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen concede that inflation could remain hot heading into 2022, they still insist that it's transitory. This is absurd. Even Atlanta Fed Bank President Raphael Bostic conceded that you can no longer call the inflation situation transitory, going as far as saying it is a swear word in his office. Others, like St. Louis Fed Bank President James Bullard, note that the inflation outlook for next year is higher than what the central bank is forecasting. So, will inflation ever go back to the 2% target rate? At this point, it's unlikely. And officials can keep claiming that the supply bottlenecks are leading the inflation boom. It has been the Fed's printing of 1/4 of all US dollars ever created that has been one of the main drivers of Bidenflation, or if you will, Trumpflation. When the printing press goes brrr and $5 trillion is added to the economy in a year's span, Americans get currency dilution and higher prices. And in the Biden economy, they get empty shelves too. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column where I dive into China's firing up the coal, Bitcoin going to Wall Street, and the failure of Obenomics. Thank you.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.